Welcome to VantageViewPoint, where we discuss news and developments in the meetings and events industry. Given the strong connection our industry has with the community, we also like to bring in guests from charities which we like to support. I'm very excited to have with me today Mark Hull-Jacquin, who is the founder of Shelter Movers. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
The first thing I'd like to ask you is how you got started and just tell me all about Shelter Movers.
Shelter Movers is a passion project for me. I started it in 2016 with my daughter who had just been born. I was on parental leave and I was looking for something to be useful to my community. I wanted to do something that was tangible and practical. I'd been behind a desk in my career and I wanted to get out there in the community and help people in need. And the idea came up for this non-profit moving service. And I found out very quickly that there was no service of this kind available in Canada. And here we are 2 years later. We completed our 300th move recently, and we seem to be having a positive effect, I think, on those around us. 300
moves is certainly amazing. A lot of resources go into that. How has the community responded?
I couldn't have predicted a more positive response. It's really uplifting. We have great financial support from businesses like Enbridge Gas Distribution, Real Storage that provides us with storage lockers for free, and of course Vantage Venues. You guys have been really good to us, giving us meeting space for our volunteers to come and do some planning. And of course individual citizens, regular men and women who want to get some exercise and meet new people and have a meaningful personal connection to those around them. And 200 volunteers between Toronto and Ottawa, and enough money to operate it's a big deal.
Mark, can you walk us through the process as to what a typical move would look like?
Yeah, so the mechanics of moving are not rocket science. We know moving can be, but what we do, I think, at Shelter Movers is we offer a lot of coordination in the background. So we work primarily with women's shelters and hospitals and law enforcement. They'll let us know that there's somebody who's looking for our service, and then we'll mobilize our volunteer base. We will contact language interpreters if that's needed. Maybe there's a veterinary clinic that needs to host the client's animal while they go to a shelter. And of course, we rent trucks. And we put all that together. We show up at the client's location, and depending on the risk level that we're facing, we'll bring, as I said, private security or police and provide a safe and dignified area, space, for her to get her things out. And then, of course, the end is that we put it all in storage for her, which can be very expensive in Toronto or Ottawa until she's ready to move on to a better life.
You touched on an element of danger there, and your volunteers sound absolutely incredible. Can you speak to that a little bit more? Are they in dangerous situations?
There's a degree of risk to everything that we do. We do our best to mitigate risk by a lot of planning. So we put our volunteers through a series of interviews and orientation sessions where they have to do criminal background checks. And so we know our people very well, and we make sure they have the right judgment when they're operating. And then, of course, depending on the risk that we're facing, we do have agreements with private security and with the Toronto and Ottawa police, and they will be present to make sure that our clients are safe and our volunteers are safe too.
Well, you've certainly put together something that is impactful. What does the future hold for Shelter Movers?
Yeah, because we're the only service of this kind in Canada, what we're finding is the demand from other communities is huge. And so our biggest challenge right now is growth. Responding to the need that we're facing from other communities. They're reaching out to us. They want us to replicate this service over and over again. As you mentioned, we're operating in Toronto and Ottawa, and we have now plans to move to Vancouver and grow there, as well as the Waterloo region that reached out to us recently, and Halifax. Our goal is the sky's the limit. We really want, in the not too distant future, to be an organization that allows any survivor of abuse in Canada to be able to pick up the phone or contact a shelter, and they'll know that there's a group in their community that can help them.
What are some of the other challenges you face, whether it be for growth or day-to-day?
Yeah, the model itself, where we coordinate and do the moves, we've got that down. We've done it, as I mentioned, over 300 times now between two cities. We do that really, really well. I think the challenge we're facing now is making sure that the word is spread adequately across the country so people know that we exist, and then we need the volunteers and the sponsorship to come out and provide us that backing and that foundation that lets us grow to meet every need. Our goal here is to be able to offer this free moving and storage service to women in any community across the country, and that's the direction I've set with our board, and I think it's achievable. to be honest.
Tell me, you're a man running this organization. Do you run into any headway around that, or maybe you can speak to why?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why I'd get that question, and we are women-centered and client-centered as an organization. But the truth is, I've got kids, and I'm a dad, and I'm privileged to be able to give my kids a safe and loving environment. I think every parent should have that opportunity, and whether I'm a man or a woman, I'm just here to help. Maybe I have skills and opportunities that I can make useful to the cause, and I think everyone has a role to play. Violence against women is violence against us all, and so we all have a responsibility to put an end to it.
Well, Mark, we certainly love what you do. We think it's absolutely incredible, especially your volunteers, and we are thrilled to have you with us today. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's incredible. We love what you're doing, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today on Vantage Viewpoint. Happy planning.